Hello to you, my fellow Dark Ones. How are you guys doing today? How's life? Did you know that we have a brand new member of the Circle of Darkness, AZ the King? I welcome you. You had a question for me, right? Almost caught up to the series. What is the... I can't read that word. Hate about. You're very lucky I'm illiterate. Moving on. What is the plan? Good question. Last episode we did manage to take care of a very important chain of production using the shadow fractures. I also did manage to add a few more recipes and well, for example, we can have 100 candite ingots. And it's relatively fast, so can't really complain. I think today we need to build up on that success. At this stage of the game we have 14 resource miners which are supposed to give us the garnets, and unfortunately there's a hole. Yes, we are only producing fluids for 9 of them. Let's fix the rest. A bit of time later and we have automated 3 more fluids. One of them is liquid madness, one of them is liquid life, and finally we have ghostly matter. It wasn't actually that complicated, some of them were even missing a fluid, so it's just a few items. But these things are off the lists. Well, and by the way, don't ask me what they're used for. Apparently this one was for Mysterium. I just have them on my bookmark so that I know what to do. What they do is none of my business. However, on this side we have 9 fluids, on that side we have 3. That makes it a total of 12. And yes, we're missing 2. What are those 2? Good question. When we were rushing towards mythic processors, I skipped one dimension and that was Iromine. Just to correct myself, we did go to the dimension, but we did not kill the boss. So we don't really have the resource miner for it. Let's fix that. I haven't done this in a while. I'm hoping Owlsight helps. Not really. You know, probably we can just one-shot the Ender Dragon? Why are mobs so tough? Also, no clue what we are supposed to do here. That's probably an arena. Oops, you can't break it. Let's put torches so that I don't get lost. I can't really stress how this damages my eyes. Are you a boss? Don't really know. Don't really care. Probably not. Silverfoot altar. Okay. Let's read the quest. Use the silver coin on a Silverfoot altar to summon Silverfoot. Aha. This is ethereal glass just in case. And here is a silver coin. Nothing happened. Drop. Nah. Is there a different silver coin? Oh. What? Oh, traded by the professor in Iromine. Okay. I have been actually thinking, how the hell are you supposed to get a coin that you need in order to make the actual resource miner from the resource miner? Are you the professor? No. Professor? No. What's inside? Nothing. Ah. Professor. No? Oh, garbage. Let me find the professor. I don't know where to find him. So there are 2 bosses in this dimension and one of them requires the gold spring. I think I literally got it from a mob, but I don't remember killing this guy. Yeah, I realized I got the quest. So, this is the second boss. Hi, you're gonna die fast, right? Nope. Maybe it's not that bad. He's dead. To be honest with you, normal mobs are a bit more tough. But yeah, we got the Mechbot statue. So now what I need to find is the Silvro coin. And yes, I'm still looking for that stupid professor. I had to go to the wiki. But yeah, that is the professor's lab. And that is a professor. And this seems to be some sort of a carpet magic. Hello, professor. Do you sell me... Okay, finally. So there is something called a magnet shard. And you need some coins. Perfect. Let's try to get a bunch and also take him home. I don't want to find him ever again. Oh, actually, I do have that place on my dislocator. Yes, the maze. Hi. I'm using ethereal glass just in case he's like a crazy boss, which I cannot kill. Okay, he's stuck. Ethereal glass means that I can pass through, he cannot. He's dead. We have the statue as well as the Silverfoot. So in addition to all of these crazy stuff, I have also found something of interest over there. There is another arena made out of bedrock and there seems to be a boss fight or something. Let's break the spawners first. And how do we cheat? So there is a button to enter the arena and there is a button to reset the boss. Let's have a waypoint over here and then press the button. We're good. The Lord will be invincible. Aww. Oh, that's not me. Okay. Well, obviously by now you know what we're going to do. We're gonna cheat. We're gonna remove this button. We place down a lever. We shall link the lever and we're out. And then we do have a decent number of grinders. So don't you worry. Oh, come on. Well, I'm using 6 grinders. Let's hope it works. Let's activate it. Maybe it's lower. I'm very sorry about the notifications, but apparently the Lord of Pressure is present. Sadly, even though I have a ton of grinders, he's not dying. There are other creatures in there who are dying. I'm guessing that's his minions. So I have a bucket of liquid death. I have my dislocator, which I can use for teleportation, and I have the Kikoku. Should we go in? Okay, I can't kill him. I'm out. He's taking damage. I think. He one-shot me. He is taking damage. He has 25,000 health, so this is gonna take a very long time. He has 25,000 health, so he should take damage 2,000 times? That's crazy. Why would you make a boss who will one-shot everyone and doesn't die using a sword? His minions are dying. He died, and I have no clue what I got. Well, I flew around. The only thing I got was his name tag. That's it. And honestly speaking, we have everything that we need from this dimension, so let's go home. I am back home at the base, and yes, I have already made the Iromine cap. There's also a cold stone, but we don't really care about it right now. However, we're not really going to assemble the resource miner at this very moment, because there's one more that we have to assemble, and that is the Haven resource miner. This guy over here. First off, the fluid that we need for Iromine is not that complicated. All we need is molten sednonite and deep blue matter, so easy peasy. And then obviously after we get 2 garnets, we should be able to use the atomic replicator. Again, super easy. However, for Haven, we need something super complicated, astral water. And do you know why it's complicated? We need these gems, and these are their recipes. So it's not very annoying because the collectors in the center, which all of them have, is reusable. Celestial crystals are not a problem, illumination powder is not a problem. What is the problem is the resonating gem, because I have to do them one by one, which is not really fun. But there is something called a whispering fountain. Again, another multi-block, which looks amazing. But in order to make the resonating gems and also make the actual machine itself, what we need is whispering Starlight. And that is a depleted fuel from a molten salt reactor. I think we crashed. Yep. And we're back. I do get lag spikes and it does crash, especially when you do a lot of exploration. I blame the stupid professor, but let's get back to our business. So what we need to make is Whispering Starlight, and at first I thought this is a waste and we need to constantly make it. Thankfully there is a duping recipe for it. So our goal is to get some Whispering Starlight, then start duping it. But that does mean that we need a molten salt reactor. And one of the things that I have learned is that, yeah, we do need to make some sodium potassium coolers, which means we need this one and we need that one. If you really want to set up a molten salt reactor and you're a noob like me, well, there are always tooltips, which gives you a slice of the reactor. And I'm really trying my best to set it up. Molten salt reactors are weird, meaning that if you don't have thermodynamics or any kind of pipes, this mod doesn't actually work. But what we need to have is some molten reactor vents, we need some sort of a piping, then we either need salt coolant heaters or salt fission vessels. These are our fuel lines. And these are the coolers. The coolant heaters should be on coolant spread, and the molten salt fission should be on fuel spread. You just do that by right clicking. And on the input side, they have to be on default, otherwise it doesn't connect. However, on the last slice, this should be on depleted out. Also, if you place some more coolers, they're just going to keep the configuration. And this should be on hot coolant out, like so. And I don't know, I think you also need more fluid ducts. And you have to make sure that they don't really connect so that you don't mix up the fluid. And then we shall have more vents, and these are going to be the output, right? We're almost done. I think. We're just gonna surround everything with frames like so. We do need to have a controller, which can go anywhere, and we cover the rest with walls. Actually, maybe the fluid ducts we're going to cover with glass. For pumping in the fluids as well as the fuel itself, I think we're going to use conduits from Ender.io, because what we can do is that we can color code them, right? Based on the slice that I have, the 4 corners are going to be gold, so we're going to go with yellow. So we just copy and paste. These 2 are going to be for fuel, so we just put it on line. The center one is for cryotium, so we go with cyan. And the rest of them are redstone coolants, right? So we go with red. So technically speaking, we can just hook up the tanks, change the colors, and everything should go in, right? I hope. Actually, I missed one. We go with light gray. That is the raw sodium potassium cooler. I don't really have a better color. So now if I have my dimensional transceiver and receive the raw sodium potassium alloy, does it go in? Yeah, it's going in. Lovely. So the receiving end of a dimensional transceiver does not require power, nor does it require a capacitor. Now we can have the cryotium version on receive, and that should go in somewhere. Yes. It's there. Redstone and gold are actually being produced over here, quite literally. So for them, we're just going to use phantom liquid phases. That's redstone. So we are going to extract on red, I think. Yes, it's going in. And the other one, we're just going to extract on yellow. That is the gold. So all of the coolants are in, we just need to have the fuel. The fuel that we need to make is not very complicated. All we need is some Starlight and some possessed fluids. These can be duped, and that is our fuel. Possessed Starlight. For the moment, let's put it inside the tank and maybe pump in the fluid a bit faster. Yeah. And maybe also pump it out a bit faster. Lovely. And let us check if our reactor works. We want to extract on lime. That's our fuel. So is it on? Oh, we need a lever. Are we generating heat? No. Are we generating anything? Wait, we have the wrong fluids. How? Okay, now it's the correct fluid. Well, the fuel is in. I guess we wait. I'm not sure. There was a bit of a fluid issue, so I had to reassemble the entire reactor, at least the insides. Because when you mess up a single pipe, you have to remove literally everything. Another very lovely problem, you have to hold sneak and right click. Because we have already configured this side, but the other side has to be on input. And that is default. It is absolutely not the best way of doing this, but yeah. Finally, we're getting Whispering Starlight. We just need 2 buckets, then we don't need this reactor. At least for this purpose. For the Limp of Pixonia, I think I have to make a way bigger reactor. But one stupid problem at a time. I'll wait until we get 2 buckets. Then we'll start duping. Okay, so I have been AFK for a while and it does seem that we have a total of 2 buckets. So we can turn off the reactor, we import both of them into a single tank so that we can have actual 2 buckets. And now what we need to do is to set it on a loop. I think it's going to be a bit easier if we do this inside our own base, because I have access to my applied energistic system. So what we want is a fluid enricher. Thankfully from a mod whose name I shall not mention, I have every single thing on auto crafting. So we have the fluid enricher, we shall have some cards, we will export possessed fluids. We shall provide this amazing machine with some power and nothing happens. Oh yeah, can you just right click it in? That's literally duping it. Okay, that's actually an amazing thing. I think as some sort of a buffer, we're going to have a fluid drawer. We're going to export to it and then we're going to set it on a loop. Oh, it's already full. Maybe 2 storage upgrades so that we have a huge buffer. Oh my goodness, this is fast. Finally. Something fast. However, there is something that we need to do. I have not automated the production of possessed fluids, so let's try to do that. I think we have to do this in a crafter, yeah. So pure fluids gives us possessed fluids. It's 1-to-1, right? Yep. Well, I suppose we can put a pattern inside the crafter, put the whispering meatball in and order some. Let's order 1,000. We put you on external C and voila. Oh, you can't export fast enough. Oops. We just had some speed upgrades. Obviously for transferring it, what we're going to do is that we're going to use a dimensional transceiver, but we need to make sure that the fluid enricher has the highest priority. So you go there, we shall provide you with some power, any capacitor will do, and you shall be known as Whispering Starlight. So the machine itself is going to have the highest priority, and everything that we make literally goes inside the fluid enricher. It's just that we have to make sure that we have enough possessed fluids. Okay, so that part went surprisingly well. Also, I suppose we don't need you. There was a pattern there. Oh, for vibranium. That was the only one. So I haven't been making vibranium for a very long time. How do you make it? Oh, okay. Okay, I actually wanted to set in the pattern after we have automated the hint of sanity and insanity. Aha, so we finally have the whispering fountain and I have set in all the patterns and this thing is amazing. So if you want to make resonating gems, let's order 100 and it's done. That is not the only thing it does, although it's one of the most important things, but we can also get this ingot as well as Zanite ore, and it's surprisingly fast. However, the main reason that we have made this machine is actually for one of the resource miners, Haven. What we need is astral water, it requires weird gems, and those weird gems require a resonating gem. I want to take care of first mythic shell and second mythic shell before we would be able to progress. So here's what we're going to do. In order to make these 3 different gems, what we need is either a celestial crystal or the attuned version. So the attuned version is relatively easy, we can just craft it inside an interface, but in the future we don't really want it to be attuned all the time, sometimes we just want the celestial crystal. There is a recipe for it inside the illuminated enchanter, this multi-block that we have over here, which we used originally in order to dupe some celestial crystals. However, as usual, you might notice there's a catch. We need something called celestial lattice. How do you make it? It's a singularity from celestial jewel, and and that is the recipe. Thankfully, it can also be made with attuned crystals or normal crystals. So let's have a pattern for, I don't know, any kind of celestial crystal, then have a pattern for the jewel, and let's actually make sure that it's the correct celestial crystal. Yeah, we want Dissidia. So can you make me 100? Okay. That you can do. Making the lattice was relatively easy, so let's see if it actually works. Yeah, it's not being consumed and it does not go to the output. Perfect. However, if I touch the celestial crystals, they're not going to stack, so let's just import them to our system. Yeah, much better. Also, for some reason, you stopped working. Why? Oh, Starlight is not going in. Why? Well, we know what to do. Not with the Starlight in general. We know how to auto-craft with this, and I think it has to be chunk loaded. And thankfully, it's within one chunk. Good. Again, the reason that I have done this automation is that it makes making the other gems from Astral Sorcery a bit easier. That is the hope. Lovely. So these things are off the list. Now we need to make these gems from Content Tweaker. You know, for the Haven Resource Miner. We need a lot of gizmos. And the most important gizmo that we need is the Impetus Mirror, which does require the Impetus Jewel, which needs the Void Seed. Talking about Void Seeds, we can't really have rifts all the time, so let's automate this. We need the Void Seedling. That's not bad. And it does need a Primordial Pearl. It's a good thing that we have a decent number of them. And it's not very balanced. It's fine, who cares? Let's craft it. That was fast. Did we crash? No. We're good. Yes. Void farming. Let me set up a phytogenic insulator for it. I'll be right back. It has been a while, but we can finally make our reflector. That was fast. It took me ages to gather the material, and it's also fun because nothing stacks. But thankfully we only need to do this 4 times, then we're done. I hope. This should be the last one. Thank you. So what do we do with this? We have to make the collector. Oh, that's easy. There you go. Now we can finally make these gems. However, since crystals are not going to stack, I suppose, this is going to be a problem. Yeah, let's use an independent crafter. You know, just in case we make a boo-boo, it's not going to affect other processes. So let's order 1 of each. Oops. Patterns are wrong. Yeah, it shouldn't also be on crafting, it's processing. So again, we order 1 of each. We shall ask you to remember the slots, and then we make the patterns. And we put them on external C. The reason that we had to remember where everything goes is that, well, if I want to order 100 of these things, I think it's just gonna fill in with celestial crystals. In this way, at least we are going to have space for the important ingredients. Also, right now it's not filling in, obviously, because we have to craft the celestial crystals. But moving on, now we can make the actual fluids. When I'm reading the comments, a lot of you mentioned that this is a very complicated mod pack, and I do understand why you say this. Because it is. No, not really. The thing is, I have to make resource miners in order to get a bunch of resources. I have to gather a lot of material, visit a dimension, to craft the cap. Then each and every one of the resource miners requires a weird fluid, which I have to automate them using single block machines. For example, here is the alchemical goo that is required for the Iromine resource miner. Oh boy. Okay, one stupid problem at a time. But in any case, I have to automate a fluid inside single block machines after I get the garnet. I can do it inside the atomic replicator, and then I will get the garnet. I have to improve the process of cutting the garnet using ender dolomite, and then I have to use the cut garnets with some chicken eggs in order to get some sort of a resource. Then we had to spend the entire last episode trying to improve that process so that we get a better egg and better yield, and then use that resource in something which is used in something which is used in something else. So yeah. It's a bit confusing. But basically, our goal at this very moment is to get a teeny tiny bit of alchemical goo as well as astral water for the remaining 2 resource miners. And obviously, after we get the garnets, we move everything inside the atomic replicator. Then the resource miners are going to work indefinitely. I'm assuming 13 buckets is going to give us 2 garnets, right? We just need the 2. Well, it's cheap, let's make more. Also, I do understand that I'm spamming drums, but drums have EMC. So alchemical goo is used in the Iromine resource miner. Now we need the astral water. This one is a teeny tiny bit more different, meaning that we need a brand new multi-block. What the hell is this? Emberium. Let us hope it's not a rabbit hole. You go there, and you go there, and I can just pick it up. Okay, we're good. This is our thermal mixer. Here is the blueprint. And assemble. This is again a temporary setup, at least for now. I didn't mess up. Where's the input? Wait, does it have to be in the bottom? Yeah, it's in the bottom. All the gems that we have made so far have to be melted. We put them inside drums. I just melted down 1 stack. That has to go inside a thermal mixer, which doesn't pump it in. Can you right click? No. Once the steel thermal mixer receives all the fluids, we get astral water. It doesn't go in automatically. It's fine, we can pump it out, but that is astral water. Remember, we just need 2 garnets, then these setups are not going to be necessary. Since for the Iromine resource miner we're going to need blocks of evil infused iron, I thought we might as well automate the enchanters from extra utilities. And then since I did that, I thought maybe we should make some upgrades. After getting those blocks, I'm going to assemble our resource miners in a void dimension, and I'll be right back. And yeah, we have both fluids, astral water and alchemical goo. As I just realized, I have to fix the base. It looks garbage. Machines everywhere, holes everywhere. It's horrifying. Even the interior is garbage. Well, don't blame me, I had to switch machines like 10 times. Aha, so it's been a teeny tiny bit of time later. We have 2 Haven garnets and 6 Iromine garnets. That means we can finally produce these fluids inside our thermic replicators. I have set up the resource miners, now we have a huge column. If I'm not wrong, these ones are actually semi-easy to automate. At least with the thermic replicator, we don't need that. I'm trying to empty my ME system. I just throw away like 50 celestial crystals. As usual, we're going to export the gems, we're going to export the resonating crystal, and by crystal I meant stone. We need deep blue matter, and we need sednonite. Yeah, that should be the remaining fluids. I'll be right back. Again, my fellow lords and ladies of darkness, it has been a few minutes later and I have automated every single fluid that we need for every single resource miner. And that makes me surprisingly happy. I don't really have to worry about resources or garnets for a relatively long time, and the reason that I say relatively is just in front of you. I think there's like 13 left in the future for other chapters, but right now we're done. Although I would like to mention that our production of garnets is garbage. We have probably used a few in order to make the fluid, some are in the interfaces, some of them are in the input hatch, and well, that's what's left. But I can't really complain, it's gonna build up over time. I think what we are going to focus on next episode is to try and get rid of everything that I have on bookmark, because they have been here for a very long time and well, they haven't been automated. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one, bye bye.